Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, May 11th, 2020 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi. Hello, and our energy mantra for today is I expand by focusing on what I value. So, oh man, we are at the beginning of the next several days of shift. Holy shift. Anytime a planet shifts signs, it's definitely major shift. And then when we have retrogrades come in, that also can feel very majorly shifty. So we've got both going on. And today we actually have three star entities, we'll just call them that, at 29 degrees. So 29 degrees is the final degree of each sign. And 29 degrees carries like the full lesson of the sign. It's like we get 30 days to move through the sign, and then that 29 degrees, it's like, okay, did you get the lessons? It's kind of like finals. So today we actually have the North Node, which just moved into Gemini, so it's still hanging out at that 29 degree energy. Today we also have Mercury shifting signs. Mercury moving into its home sign of Gemini. Lots of Gemini energy. So we'll have Mercury moving through that 29 degree energy. And we have Mars. And Mars is finishing up in Aquarius and will be moving into Pisces tomorrow, late in the evening on the 12th. So 29 degrees. Now, between 29 degree Mercury in Taurus, 29 degree North Node Gemini, and 29 degree Mars in Aquarius energy, we have some super strong lessons to be aware of. So the North Node energy is definitely preparing us for Mercury entering Gemini. By the way, that will happen at 2:58 p.m. Pacific time. So hold on to your monkeys. Like over the next, it's like basically 2.5 weeks. Not very long. It's a fairly fast transit for Mercury. We are definitely going to be amplifying the monkeys. So if you think the talk is already like flying and going now in the world, that is just going to amplify it. Now, North Node in Gemini is reminding us this is actually a good thing. Like all of the information, it's a good thing. But we do want to practice discernment. We also want to practice how not to go into information overload. So everybody's going to have their own practices. It's funny because my rising sign is 29 degrees Gemini, and I'm for sure feeling that North Node energy on it at this time. And one of the things that I know is when I go into information overload, that's interesting, overload, I have to tune out. So it's being aware when you need to tune out, when you have to get beyond the information, beyond all the illusions that are put out there, because not everything that you are going to be receiving out there, the receptivity card in reverse, not everything that you're going to be receiving is true. Now, I do think that there are bits and pieces in and through it. And again, discernment is going to be such an important thing. But really knowing how to manage your monkeys and really being very aware of when you're feeling that overwhelm is going to be, I keep thinking back to the Overlord. I'm like, what does that connect to? But anyway, being very vigilant to that is going to be important to your personal success in and through these energies. So just be aware. And again, you do not have to believe everything you read. Be open, and yet also have, I guess, your personal boundaries in place. Not belief boundaries, but like discernment boundaries. Like, yeah, this feels good or this doesn't. Again, having that North Node in Cancer beforehand hopefully heightened our intuition, hopefully heightened that gut feeling of like, yeah, this has some validity, or no, this doesn't. One thing about Mercury shifting signs, when Mercury hangs out at 29 degrees and 0 degrees, it can act retrograde. So be aware, you may have weird conversations that are like, wait, what are we talking about? Not really connecting. Technology may have some issues. All of these things can pop up during this transit. So just be very aware of that. And Mercury loves mischief. So keep aware of that as well. Keep aware of the sonic mischief going on. Mercury in Gemini is a really good time to connect. I do think it's going to be such an interesting week. Between these retrogrades and these planetary shifts, it feels like we're ready to rebel from the rules that we've been given over this last little bit. And even though you have that rebellion running through you, please do keep listening to your personal discernment of what is right for you. I think Mercury in Gemini especially can get very listless and bored and like, I need stimulation, and will forget what is important in the hunt for feeling said stimulation. So just be very aware of that in this energy. And sometimes that stimulation, it can be kind of an addiction sort of thing. And a lot of times when we're overstimulated, we feel and experience that. So just be very aware of that in and through that. So Mars at 29 degrees in Aquarius, that can feed into all of this stimulation because Aquarius is like the higher vibration of Mercury. It's very electrical. It can be very mentally stimulating. So your mind might be like, oh my God, I have all these ideas, and like overfiring. So grounding, breathing, knowing when you need to tune out, pull back. Where is it? I got this card. Turn in and tune in. That is going to be very important. I also have the Be Here Now card. Make sure you're in the present moment, because all of this mental energy, it wants to go to the past, it wants to go to the future, especially Mars 29 degrees Aquarius. It's like, oh my gosh, can we just be there in the future already? Can we just build the flying cars and all that stuff, you know? So be very aware of that. Stay grounded and don't get caught up in all of those mental illusions that are flying around at like the speed of light. What's our third 29 degree? I did Mercury, I did Mars, and I did the North Node. So we're good there. So let's look at this other stuff. Okay, Moon in Capricorn. Moon in Capricorn is definitely helping support the grounded Earth energy. Again, be very aware of the shoulds versus tuning in to the structures that you want to build in that are beyond the shame, that's beyond the shoulds. So Moon in Capricorn hopefully is supporting that. Moon in Capricorn, especially as it connects to Neptune today, will be supporting that. Again, there's this divine plan that is unfolding and happening with all of this. And it feels very reassuring when I turn in, where is it? Come on, card. When I tune in or turn in to that energy. So be very aware of that. However, there's always howevers, right? There's always buts. They cushion things. The Moon in Capricorn is going to make some challenging connections. One of them being a connection with Pluto. That's late in the evening, but I think we're going to feel it building. Watch those monkeys. They may feel a little foreboding. They may feel a little bit scary. Again, that's a call to the be here now. And so much of this Pluto energy at this time is really about empowerment. So even if you're feeling the foreboding, even if you're feeling those fears, how are you being called to feel empowered in and through this? So, last thing I want to mention is actually early in the day. Mercury squaring Mars. Mercury finishing up in Taurus, squaring Mars, finishing up in Aquarius. So Mercury finishing up in Taurus. I guess that's the one I didn't really talk about, 29 degrees Taurus. Here we go. I knew I missed something. Mercury, 29 degrees Taurus before that shift. Really having a mental mindset around what you value. That is going to be so important. Be aware of your worth. Be aware of what you value. aside from all of the stuff going on, aside from all the money stuff going on, your inherent value, your inherent self-worth, and what you value beyond anything. I love this. Like I said this a few weeks ago, this meditation I've been doing. If you lost everything that you know, like all your money and everything, wealth is what is left. What is really important is what's left. And those are our relationships. Those are our connections. That is our earth energy that can support us and heal us and works with us. So really being very strong in that, at that 29-degree energy, because as it squares that Mars energy, you know, it may be like, well, is this really important to building in the future? Yes, it is, for the future that we actually really do want to build. So just be very aware of that energy, and there may be some resistance there, but I really feel like it's rectified by remembering what we want to bring into this future that we're building. All right, so that is it for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. Oh my God, I've just forgotten it all. This is so Mercury. The better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and stay curious. Namaste.